Our first stop tonight is with Maud. Maud, you've been having a bit of a time. The problems started when you were contacted by City Hall, who called you into a meeting and told you that there's going to be a new bylaw that's going to be passed that will make it illegal for certain types of businesses, including yours,
Hmm.
having too many servers on the island. They say they are trying to preserve the power grid, et cetera, and it's going to cause a problem. Of course, your business relies on having a lot of servers, and that's been causing you a few issues. On top of that, the last time we saw you, you were having some issues with your sire, but you managed Thomas Strathcona, but you managed to come to an entente, shall we say, with him.
You could say.
You could say that.
that. Hmm.
And since then, you've been mostly trying to get your business back on track. This whole issue of this bylaw is really going to be problematic for your business. You find yourself tonight, and I'll ask you to tell me a little bit about where your mood's at in a second, but you find yourself tonight in a after-hours cocktail joint where you are meeting a man named Eric Denoncourt, who is he's a businessman, but he's more kind of like a middleman where he has a lot of weight at City Hall, and he's someone who can kind of get things done. And so you reached out to him and tried to set up this meeting with him. Your assistant Sloan set up a meeting with him so that you could try and convince him to help with this. You've been trying to shore up some political support to kind of try and at least slow down this eviction notice, basically, by the city. As you're sitting in this club, you're at the Atwater Cocktail Club, and it's after hours. There's really not a lot of people around. You've got a little private booth in one corner. He's going on and on, kind of talking about this and that, the other. What's your frame of mind, having just escaped nearly dying yourself in the assassination of the Venture Primogen, and all this stuff going on? Where's your head at these days, Maud?
It feels like trying to find some sense of normalcy, grounding. I feel that my business is kind of the only thing that's keeping me together right now with everything that's going on. So I suppose it feels a little bit like being underwater, where there's just kind of pressure from every angle, but all you can think of is to keep swimming. So this effort, despite originally being told that I have to shut down my business altogether, I at least have to maintain something of it until I can find out further what I'm actually doing.
And this guy, Eric, is going on about something. You've lost track a little bit of what he was saying, and as you kind of refocus on him, he's saying, so what they really wanted to do really at the end of the day was they didn't want to be liable for not ceding the territory to the people who wanted to build a children's hospital. So what I ended up doing, and this is really funny, what I ended up doing was I went over to the director. I know this guy. I'm not trying to name drop or anything, and he's going on like that, and he's just kind of blabbing. And every time you try to bring up your issue, your subject, he just starts talking about it, and then somehow you find yourself knee deep into some story about some other thing. It doesn't look like you're going to get an answer from him unless you really kind of press him hard on it.
I mean, I think I have methods of getting what I want in this situation. I'm trying to find out why exactly. I'm trying to find out either how to just, I mean, in general, how to keep my servers on the island, but also, am I trying to find out why? Like, I'm trying to think what exactly I'm trying to.
Yeah, I think at this point it's mostly a question of very specifically trying to just slow down the process so that you have time to figure out a workaround. Like, they basically have told you that you have 3 weeks to move your entire operation off island, or they're just going to pull the plug and shut you down. At this point, you know that you can't alter all of that. You're really just trying to find who do you have to lean on, who do you have to pay, who do you have to kill, who do you have to sleep with, who do you have to dominate, who is it that's got the power to slow this down long enough for you to kind of be able to marshal some forces and do something a bit more tense, because 3 weeks is really quick.
And I know that he would know that.
Yeah, definitely. He's totally the kind of guy that's plugged into all this stuff.
Wonderful. Then I would like to mesmerize him.
All right. As he is talking away, you attempt to reach out with your mind, mesmerize the poor fellow. Give me a rouse check, please.
Yes. Wonderful, I failed.
What are you at hunger-wise?
That would be a 4.
Well, start by doing your manipulation and dominate, and we'll see how that goes, and then we'll talk about how peckish you've become.
Yeah. Okay.
So you're doing manipulation plus dominate.
And I only roll for the hunger that I had prior to the rouse check.
That's right. That's right.
Right. Okay.
However, actually, no roll is required against an unprepared mortal victim. He's very much that. So he's very unprepared and he's very much most. Actually, you don't even need to roll.
I want to see what I got anyway. Oh, that's such a nice roll anyway. that's like 6. Just for fun.
Tell me, do tell me what you're trying to do with your mesmerize.
Exactly what you just asked. Who is the person that I need to talk to slow this down? And what would they like? Like, I'm just trying to get that information, like, and then what would they like to hear?
You have to formulate that into an order.
Yes. There's no limit on words, though. Tell me who I need to speak to.
No, it's a complex command.
Yeah. Tell me who I need to speak to keep the servers on the island, and what they want in order to keep them there.
There's no one you can talk to. There's no one who's going to take your call. There's no one who's going to be able to help you. I only took this meeting because I don't know. Thought it'd be fun.
Excuse me.
Thought it'd be fun. It's not every day that you get to, hang out with a woman who produces porn for a living. It's interesting.
And you were expecting to get something from that?
No, it's just interesting, Kind of wanted to see what kind of person you are.
All right, so this meeting is done then?
Well, it doesn't have to be. Look, it's not because I don't want to help you. I'm just saying that this comes from...
You know what? You're right. It doesn't have to be done. And I'm a lady that produces such interesting materials. Would you like to know, perhaps, how it's done?
I mean, sure, I'm curious about it. Like, I mean, it's a huge market. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm interested in that. If, there's opportunities for investments, things like that. I know you're going to have some operating costs, having to move and all that stuff.
Right. I would just like to I would like to just go feed on this man. How engaged is he if I were to just pull him into a back room?
You want to just physically grab him and pull him?
I mean, I'm playing the seduction card.
So you're okay. So you're doing that. All right. Let's. I mean, I think he's there, but let's do a little roll. Do a charisma and persuasion roll. You put all those points in those skills, you know.
I did. The same amount of dice. Can't I just take that 6 from earlier?
Sure.
No, that would mean it's just a 6. Okay. Wonderful. It's 4 successes.
Okay. So he's like, "Wow, you went from 0 to 100."
Well, if the conversation was over, I might as well get something from it.
All right. Sure. Bathrooms
Is
right
there an
there.
issue?
I have
Of course.
I have a little bit of nose candy if you want a little picker-upper.
Fuck it, why not?
We ball.
We ball.
You lead him into the bathroom. He walks in, and I don't know if you remember the film Die Hard, but Ellis. That's totally who this guy is. Ellis from Die Hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's undoing his tie. He's like, "Are you picky? You want to do this on the side of the sink? You want to do it on the back of the toilet? What do you like?"
Wherever you prefer, you go first.
All right. He goes over to the hand dryer on the top, and he draws a line, and he hits himself with it. Ugh.
Incredible.
Oof, that's good stuff.
While he's doing that, I'd like to sink my teeth into the side of his neck.
Excellent. Go ahead and do a strength plus brawl. Now, you are surprising him.
I am.
Do you want to do a Rosh check to see if you can boost your stats?
Boost my stat? Yeah, just go to 5?
Well, I mean, if you succeed in the Rosh check, you won't. How confident are you in your dice rolling?
How confident? Oh, gosh, you know...
Fuck it, we bang.
Life is so spicy. Let's go for it. Let's do a,
Rosh check.
yeah. Let's go for it. Oh, I succeeded. That was really scary. I'm not even gonna lie.
Good stuff. You get to add
Sorry,
your blood potency to your strength, so you get 2 more dice.
Wonderful. Incredible. That's crazy. On 4 hunger dice. I guess it's a messy critical. But that's 6.
Do you have a night move on hand that you would wish to spend to avoid a messy critical, or do you want to...
That's a good question. I don't know if the chat has offered me a night move yet. I do have plenty of auxiliary XP from previous sessions, but I do not believe
all right,
so.
So I guess we're riding the Nico.
Nico, thank you.
Are you gonna avoid the messy critical?
I think I'll avoid the messy critical, please.
Okay. You grab him from behind, sink your teeth into his neck. The second you do that, a couple of things are happening. One, ever since you did the Rosh check and got to your hunger level 4, I always talk about how the beast is not just another part of you. It's literally like a parasite, an alien creature that lives inside of you. and is trying to take over your body. That's how like I see the beast, and that's how I tell players to see it. This is an alien thing inside of you that is trying to control your body, and the only way to keep it from doing that is to keep it sated and sleeping. And not only was it growling and prowling about, it was fully awake. And you hadn't realized it in the heat of the moment, but in the second where you do that last Rouse check, the second where you call upon your blood to increase your strength and you grab him and your mouth opens and your fangs elongate, and just as you're about to bite into him, you suddenly realize how close this thing is. And you feel like it's behind you and its hands have slipped into your hands. And it's almost like it's right there, like on the verge, just skin deep on the verge of taking control. And as you bite into this guy, and the power of that bite sort of, gives him the ecstasy of the kiss, and you drag him down to the floor, you find yourself not only exulting in the feeding and feeding this guy, but also fighting off this thing that now just wants to rip him apart. And you come really close to it. You feel that it's literally an inch away from ripping right through you and ripping this guy apart, and you can see yourself doing it, and you realize how satisfying it would be, but you manage to keep control at the last possible second. You drag him down to the ground. You hear behind you the door start to open. You lash out with your foot and you push it. And you stop drinking just long enough to go, "It's busy!" And you bite back in him. How does it feel as you're drinking from him and feeling that warm Vitae just filling your mouth and going down your throat?
It feels incredible. It feels just blissful, especially right now with everything that's going on. It's like the only true control I have is one, not just getting to take down a mortal and feed from them, but also being able to look my own beast in the eyes and say no. And again, as I've explained before, I usually have the ability to stop, this from ever happening. I've had plenty of what I address as meetings to gain these opportunities to feed, but they've become less with this breaking up of the systems that I'm used to playing with. So it just feels like having that control again. And I love it.
How much do you take from him?
I would like everything but the last one.
Well, here's the way it works. You can take up to 2 with no problem. If you go beyond 2, we have to start doing checks to see if he's going to survive if untreated.
We've played risky so far.
You...
It's only one.
Pull and pull and pull his blood into your mouth. So you get 2 points for sure. Now let's see once we get to the third. We'll say this guy works out, so he's probably got a couple athletic points and some... so he's going to do strength plus stamina against your... How much do you want to take? 3 or 4?
3. If I did 4, I would kill him.
No. 5 would kill him.
Okay, I can only... Isn't it until...
Oh yeah, that's right. You would be at 1. That's right. You're at 4. Never mind. You're right. Okay, 3.
So I'm taking 2 and then the 1.
Dram, and just as you start feeling his pulse weaken just a little too much, from that point of experience, you know it's dangerous. You stop and you feel that you've gotten just enough. So you do manage to get your 3 points, and his pulse is weak when you finish, but he's still alive. You lick the wound close. He's very pale and drawn and not moving. The cocaine has been spread all over the floor of the bathroom now.
The cocaine was to keep him alive. Keep the heart going.
It did the job.
I think I loosened my foot from the door in case anyone's pushing, and just pretend I'm just like making out with him or something. Or that I've just finished.
Do you leave him there? What do you do?
No. Be just unconscious, right?
Yeah.
I think how I would set this up was I would like leave him in a stall.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps procure an empty glass, leave it on his lap.
Okay.
The perfect picture of a poor alcoholic and cocaine addict.
Not a problem. You slip away into the night. Your car is waiting for you in the parking lot, just about a block away.
Mm-hmm.
When you get into the car, your assistant, Sloane, is there. She looks up from her laptop where she was working. Well, you got a bit of color in your cheeks. I take it the meeting went well?
Not exactly. Unfortunately, it seems that there's nothing that we can do.
Do I need to kill it? Do I need to call a cleaner?
No, he's not dead.
Hmm.
Just sad.
Well, we do have that meeting tomorrow with those people from... She goes through her stacks of paper in her little binder, and she pulls out the letter that you received at Thomas's place, inviting you to the event of the Black Fleur de Lis. You might be able to meet someone there that's gonna have the polar sway you need.
You know, Sloane, I can only hope so.
We done for you now?
I am.
Sorry.
No, I'm just expressing my weariness about it.
You want to talk to Thomas?
I honestly don't think he'll be of help.
So what then? Want to call it off? Want to call it off?
No, I still think it is advantageous if I go. Just... I don't know. I guess I am trying to consider what kind of preparations I can do for it. Specifically on the outside with you.
Whatever you need. I don't think I'll be much help, but... I mean, they wouldn't have sent an invitation like this if they were planning on doing something terribly wrong to you.
See, that's the thing. Through our conversations, you know that I am already feeling that enough terribles happened. But even more terribly wrong. I don't know. I guess just in case something happens, what am I trying to say exactly? Just some something that if something were to happen to me, some insurance that I would have to be okay. I don't know. Maybe a public appearance that I need to be seen the next day at or something. I don't know.
Well, we can arrange that easily enough. You want some kind of backup on hand, or?
Maybe. I'm not really sure what exactly I need. I don't really know what I'm dealing with, to be perfectly honest with you, but at least having some kind of public-facing thing. These people want to fuck with me, well then they'll hopefully be fucking with me correctly, that they don't have to deal with the implications to the public that they are trying to
I feel you. I can set something up.
Yes.
Okay. Let's go and get some rest. You only have a few hours left before the sun comes up.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you, Sloan.
Of course. And as you're driving back home, Father Dubois, it's been a while. Tell me, what's been going on in your head since that time when you visited that strange abandoned metro station in the underground and felt that presence? What's the good father been up to in the few nights since then?
He's been actively avoiding his task of going and saying hello to it once again. He doesn't want to go back down near it.
And how do you occupy your time?
As any good man of the cloth, with sex and debauchery. But, you know, that only eats up about 3 hours. So, I think past that, if I recall correctly, he also received one of those invitations.
Mm-hmm.
I think he probably has spent at least the last couple of nights going over the invitation, studying it, trying to understand why he, of all people, would receive one.
I think as you're focused on that and thinking very specifically about that and kind of letting your mind wander a little bit, you get this sudden thought, and it's the strange thing because it's not like you hear a voice in your head or anything, and it's clearly not a thought that you've had, but there's just a thought there in your mind, and it's that there are many roads to get where you're going, and that many of the best ones go underground.
Well, if I must consort with a higher power, even amongst the peasantry, then I will do as I must.
And what is that exactly?
He would go back down to that station. He's been told that he needs to go basically seek it out a little bit. But he doesn't like going into the underground. Because he still very much views that as no, that's for the rabble, that's for the peasants. The peasants go down there, kind of deal, right? Mm-hmm. He's like, I'm Camarilla Highborn. Sorry, maybe a man of the cloth, but I'm above the dirt, not below it.
And yet here you are. Find yourself once again in this abandoned station that was never completed, never had a train run through it, supposedly. You see that plaque again with all those names on it being thanked for their contribution to the city. The Art Deco style of it, again, the light, everything is unchanged from the last time you were here, except for one thing. As you step onto the platform, you notice something that you're pretty sure wasn't there last time, but On the other side of the tracks, there's a little set of stairs that goes up, and then there's some sort of maintenance access door. And on that door, you see the gaudiest neon crucifix, exactly the same color as the one you have in your church, which is in and of itself renowned for its beautiful neon coloring.
I'm just going to say this out loud. I have that bitch trademarked. I believe I'm owed.
What do you do?
I think, honestly, the first thing that he does, like seeing that, he's been ambushed here before.
Mm-hmm.
So he is... Oh, man, he's going to do something he knows is not good, and he knows that it's going to open him up. But he's going to do it before he proceeds to cross the tracks, so to speak, both physically and metaphorically.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to reach out with premonition. He was caught off guard last time by trusting that witch of a being, and they were all caught off guard because she was too distracted with other things. And he knows that he's in not friendly territory still, so he's not taking any chances.
I like this plan of yours.
I thought you might.
You make a roll when it's you who calls upon it, or...
Yep. I'm rolling it now. Okay. That is... Oh, here we go. 5 successes. Basically, all I'm trying to ascertain is whether or not there is danger outside of the known danger, i.e. freaking, Papa Frank here underneath the dirt.
You see an image. It's a concrete wall with what appears to be a black triangle upside down printed on it, and you see a bloody handprint on it. And you get a sense of extreme lethal danger. However, it is very clear to you that this is further in the future and not within the realm of this station.
I think he crosses the track, comes to that neon sign, and doesn't actually knock, but mentally visualizes knocking on the door, essentially asking for permission to proceed.
As you approach the door, you see one more image in your mind before you proceed to mentally knock on the door. You see an image of yourself wandering in a sort of desolate, post-apocalyptic wasteland. You see buildings destroyed, cars rusted, vegetation having kind of taken over everything. It's night, and you can see far ahead of you a vast, dark, pulsing garden. And you hear a woman's voice deep inside that garden, humming a song that you eventually recognize as a psalm, but you don't know which one it is. You try to remember, but your knowledge of scripture, of psalms, of everything else has completely fled and gone. And that humming that is breaching you out of that garden is mocking. And then you're standing in front of your cross. And you knock. And the door unlocks and opens up an inch or two.
Well, if you've got to go. And he pushes through the doorway.
You walk down a series of steps, finding yourself going deeper and deeper underground. You follow a little tunnel, man-made but rough. You eventually start seeing little lanterns lit along the way, guiding your path. Eventually you see a much brighter glow ahead of you, and you step into sort of mausoleum. There are lanterns, little candles, votives all around. You see a number of crosses painted. You see various words and bits of scriptures and whatnot carved into the wall. And just like you did that first time, you feel that presence. And the way it announces itself this time, if you imagine the Malkavian network, the Madness network, as some kind of web, it's as if something very large and heavy has just grabbed the central piece of the web, pulled on it, and then let it go, and the entire thing now is vibrating. And at the far end, deep in the shadows, when you look, you see something move. You see a shape. The saint sits motionless in the shadows of his crypt, a presence that you feel more than you see. His face remains hidden in the gloom, swallowed by the hush of cold stone and stale incense. Bald and dark skin, he appears young, too young, the kind of youth that feels wrong, unaged, not by time, but by something older than time, a stillness beneath time. He's bare, his body is lean and unmoving, a sculpture of flesh. Every inch of his skin is marked with ink. Dense, looping scripture written so tightly it blurs at a distance, then sharpens the longer you look. The words crawl up his throat, coil around his limbs, vanish into the hollows of his collarbones. The language is ancient, or perhaps it never even was a language at all. Some of it seems to move when not watched directly. He doesn't speak, he doesn't blink. His presence unsettles you. Here in front of you are epics in time immemorial, made flesh, mysterious, strange, and alien. You feel his presence more than physically. You sense him inside your mind, unearthing every hidden memory and thought there. You're laid bare as never before, every layer peeled back with deft, ancient precision. You have nowhere to hide. The saint does not rise, does not seem to move even as he speaks. His voice comes to you low, dry, ancient, yet without age, as though echoing from within the stones themselves. The earth beneath, around, above, is not earth. It is folded skin, the scar of a sleeping god, and I sit upon its sternum. The worms know. They hum hymns with no mouths. They remember the taste of angels. This place is shaped like a thought. The holy mountain was not raised, it was remembered. Not built, unearthed from the mind of the dreaming dirt. Every stone here has weight only because it chooses to fall. They kneel with me. Will you?
I think he just drops to his knees.
I think this is down. It is not. It is in. Inward and under, through the flesh of the world to the marrow of meaning. Do you hear it? The pulse beneath the rock? Not a heartbeat. Name. I was born before this place, but I will die after it. I wrote myself upon my skin to remember, to keep from floating away. I'm held here by gravity, by sacrament, by the spine of the mountain that calls itself holy and weeps salt. And still, Alexander the mountain watches. It sees sideways. It dreams and spirals, and I am only its tongue. I've seen far back into the future, and I've seen this time now that man flies in the sky in silver machines. Yet he is still compelled to return to the earth, for the earth is all. Its power unending, irrefutable. Even angels with their wings of light must be buried in the loam. Now, tell me, child of Mika, who is called Merid, but also Malkav, twin to Arakel, brother of Solot and Set, has the time come? Do my brothers darken this land with their shadows, sweeten the earth with blood, choke the air with ashes?
Yes, they do.
I thought so. I feel like I have only been asleep for a little while. That it must be some time. Tell me, has Cain returned?
The ancients have gone to the sands to fight him. The children are left to rule instead.
And how do they rule?
Fiefdoms of the old world brought to the new.
My dreams have been disturbed for some time now. There's a poison in the land here that grows and infects my mind, and I dream death. It was thus when I was first awoken long ago, a pestilence. I touched one, a man of the cloth, such as yourself. Under my guidance, he traveled to the seat of clerical power, a place now called Vatican. There he created soldiers of God whose powers can destroy our kind. I very much hope never to have need of them. The pestilence here grows. I am afraid their cleansing light will soon be needed, especially if my brethren come across the sea. Is there a sea there now? I have seen it in my dreams. It was not there when I came here, but I've seen the waters rise between the lands. Is there a sea?
Yes, there is a sea.
It will not hold them back. They will walk on the floor of it or fly across the waters.
Many fly.
Hmm.
Can understand that my blood is nowhere near the caliber of which yours is, and though I am blessed and cursed to have you within my mind, I need you out of it, for it shatters at your mere presence. Please, can you speak to me?
Am I not speaking to you now? You would hear my voice. I have not used my voice in several thousand years. I do not remember what it sounds like.
1,000 years. I think at like the 1,000 years, like his knowledge of history and everything along those lines is immediately racing through his mind to try and place where this man must have come from.
You find my presence too much. Allow me to soothe you, and you feel a bit of warmth come through you, and you feel his presence attenuate a little bit. It's as if he was writing in all caps and now he's writing just in normal letters.
That is much better, thank you.
Your soul is quite disturbed.
The decay of this city has taken its toll on me.
Perhaps I should tell you of the things I learned from Ahmed. A long time ago, he taught me peace. He taught me to visualize the golden pyramid that rises in the sky, to see myself at its apex, and to leave the earthly base desires and requirements behind. I could teach you, had we the time.
You speak of golden pyramids. What do you know of black ones?
I could drill a dagger, a spike of cold iron pushed down deep into the earth. Its point dips into the pestilence that once few tried to cleanse but failed. It draws power from it. It acts as a disperser of it. My dreams are filled with it. I'm afraid that it spreads through me, through everyone in this place. Tell me, in your estimation, is there any hope? Or should we cleanse everything and everyone?
There are those who need the sword of an avenging angel cast upon them. But there are those who still could be of value and use and should be spared any sort of wrathful vengeance.
Come close then, and let me speak to you of the sword of God, and let me hear your counsel. And he moves back into the shadows, and you see a little space has opened up near him.
I think his body moves without realizing it.
And as you do, Ava, you've arrived at the pyramid. With Arkham and Annabelle. The car pulled into the underground parking garage. A number of men and women in fine suits came out and opened doors and helped you out and guided you out, and Annabelle looked at the two of you, you and Arkham, and said, I will ask you, Claudia, to give me a moment. I'll join you presently. I need to have a brief discussion with Arkham. One-on-one, if you don't mind, of course.
I think she'll just look at Arkham and do like a, hey, are you sure about this type of energy? But I know that he was looking for her, so he'll probably just say he's fine. So she'll let him go.
Like Fleur here, and she points to a woman that you can tell is human. Kind of standard issue, blonde, pale blue eyes, white suit. She has a little black lily pin on her lapel. This Fleur will bring you somewhere you can wait comfortably. I'll be with you shortly. Thank you so much for your patience and for your understanding. If you require anything at all, please let Fleur know.
Much appreciated.
As she's guiding you down the hall in this strange place that feels empty yet kind of vibrating with some sort of strange life at the same time, what's your frame of mind, Claudia? What's going on with you as you are heading to some sort of waiting room, you assume?
How the fuck did I get here? I was going to a speakeasy. I was hanging out with a very known artist. Maybe we're gonna listen to jazz, and now I'm fucking here. Why the fuck am I here?
These things happen.
I think it's... She knows that this is a part of the trail, but I think it is it's getting to the point where it's starting to tickle in the back of the mind of, you may be a little bit out of your element here right now. Just a little tiny bit.
Is there anything you want to do, or
I think she's just gonna take in the surroundings. If there's anything that stands out to her, then she'll make sure to categorize it in the back of her mind, but she'll
is there any disciplines or powers or anything you want to use, or are you just going to kind of take a look at the place in general?
Yeah, just take a look in general.
Go ahead and make me a we'll call it a wits and investigation.
Okie dokie. Out of the way. 3 successes.
So, as I was just mentioning, there's a sense that this place is empty. You can kind of still, you don't necessarily see like people at work or anything, but you can kind of sense that there's still construction going on, that they're still kind of building up the inside of this place, sort of thing. Everything you see appears finished, but you get the feeling that like it's calculated, like they finished the places that they knew people were going to be seeing, for example, you know. And so it looks finished, but it's not. There's this strange... What does your character know about... Jesus. Sheesh. My Google was like, are you talking to me? Wow, that scared the pants off me. Okay. What does your character know about interior design and things of that nature? Anything at all? Is your character someone who has, in any way, shape, or form studied that?
It's not a study for her. I think at most, if it has something to deal with like a cult history, like those types of designs, then she'll know a little bit more, but outside of that, not so much.
Okay. I'll say that you get a sense that... How long has your character been in Montreal?
Quebec as a whole for about 10 years. Montreal, I'll say probably 5.
Okay. So you've noticed, certainly in your time in Montreal, that there is a tendency for stuff built in the late 60s and 70s to be of the style known as brutalist architecture. A lot of government buildings and things of that nature are in that style, which is a lot of cement and concrete and big square things, and like the kind of things you kind of expect to see in Russia, basically. That kind of architecture. That there's a lot of that in Montreal, but all of it, whenever you encounter it, is buildings and stuff that was built in the 70s. This is obviously a very new building, a very new place. And still, a lot of it has that feeling. You kind of get the sense that but it also doesn't seem like they're just trying to ape it. I guess what I'm trying to say is you kind of get the sense that, like, this thing, even though it's brand new, has been here before, or has been here for a while, or there's something kind of intemporal about it.
It's an old soul with a new coat of paint type of vibe.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Absolutely.
Okay.
So you definitely get that feeling. There's history here. And there's this kind of lingering sense of something unfinished, maybe, or a continuation of something. It's just a very odd kind of unsettling feeling that you're getting through this place. As Fleur guides you, you eventually find yourself arriving on the balcony, a sort of you're in would really be like a kind of like I said, brutalist business office kind of hallway. And then you take a stairwell, and the stairwell itself kind of curves, and as you go down that stairwell, it becomes this entirely different place. It's this very kind of ancient, strange, fairy kind of Dali-esque nightmare kind of place. Suddenly the walls are old and the paint is fading and flaking in places. There are these very old paintings. The floor is this checkered floor. This stairwell looks like it should not go anywhere. It's just very kind of strange and discombobulating. And she brings you down into the bottom of the stairs, and there's an orange couch there. And she motions for you to sit. And she says, someone will be with you presently. Is there anything I can get you for now to make the waiting more comfortable?
Actually, I would like to poke your brain a little bit. What is the inspiration behind this building, the whole structure of it? Not to, I hope it is not insulting to say, reminds me of the Winchester household and how it just seems to toss and turn weaves. Yes.
The Winchester house. I'm not familiar with that term. As she says that, you hear chamber music start to sort of rise around you from nowhere that you can tell. Probably hidden speakers. This particular wing of our beautiful pyramid is Miss de Troyes' personal rooms. She has a very bohemian mind, a very, how should I say, capricious mind in some ways. She's never quite sure exactly what she likes, and so the place tends to shift to accommodate her moods.
It is quite fascinating. I don't quite know the whole history of this pyramid. What was the inspiration behind its building?
It was a dream, really. A dream that our director, Ms. de Troyes, had. I believe that the structure of it, the plans for it, the ideas for it, came to her in a dream. I remember her speaking once about having had this strange dream where she was asleep and that this place had been built around her and on top of her while she slept. And as she was sleeping, a hand woke her up, and when she did, she looked up and saw that this entire magnificent palace was built atop her, and it reached high up into the sky, so high that it blocked out the light of the sun and the moon and the stars, and it cast this extremely long shadow over everything, and she felt an intense desire to see this dream become a reality.
Random question, Bleak. In Claudia's research, has there been anything that has referenced a dream or something dealing with slumber?
Your research into what exactly? Because you've researched a whole bunch of things.
As I think, let's see. I think the possible thread of this would be when Nicholas talked about Gehenna, and there were moments within the city that was coming up from like underneath, like coming up from to the surface. It kind of made her think of how we end up coming back from a dead life to an undead life. So I kind of think maybe it's a more looser, shorter thread, but maybe just dabbling in. Is there any references of sleeping or crawling or dreams?
I'll tell you what. I'll give you a roll on this. Give me an intelligence and investigation roll.
Okey-dokey.
I'll tell you investigation or occult, whichever you feel like you want to use.
What is my specialty in occult? Let me double check. Divination, so not really. It's the same dice pool anyway. That's not going to be too much. It's going to be just 2.
The only thing that springs to mind, for reasons you don't know, because this is not something you discovered during your investigation, but it's something you heard about somewhere else. There is, amongst the humans, there is a belief amongst those of the Christian Catholic faith that there is the remains of a saint, this man called Brother Andre, who had been active here at the beginning of the 19th century. Sorry, at the beginning of the 20th century. Who had been active around and was such a wonderful presence and a caregiver and had done so much for people that he was canonized and made into a saint. And there are many people who believe that his remains are in the oratory here. And it has always struck you as interesting that among the kindred there are rumors that you've heard here and there of an elder vampire sleeping somewhere underneath the oratory, that a lot of people think this Brother Andre was a Malkavian and that he resides or sleeps away under the oratory. But recently, rumors that you had heard was that something had been disturbed in the oratory, and it turned out not to be a vampire at all. So you're not too sure what to make of those rumors at this point.
Okay.
But it's the only thing that would kind of connect to the idea of a dream or a sleeping.
Okay. Yeah, I think she'll... Okay. Well, that is quite beautiful. I do appreciate something like that.
It is
Thank
beautiful
you.
when someone has a dream and they can accomplish it and make it reality. I myself don't have any dreams.
Inspired. Oh. Trouble sleeping?
No, I sleep perfectly fine. I'm just very content.
Oh, well, there is a kindness and contentment as long as it doesn't lead to... Ava's blanking on words right now. Oh my god.
Complacency? Apathy?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, complacency.
Well, too busy to be complacent.
True.
And she looks up for a second and says, Ms. Detroit will be right here. If you don't require anything else, I will...
Oh, yes, please, go. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You're wonderful. She turns around and she walks up, and as she does, from down the hall, as you can see in the room, there is a hallway at the other end of it. You hear the sound of high heels on the parquet floor, and you look to see a woman dressed in blue with striking red hair. She is very thin, very brittle looking, almost very small, almost kind of like a baby bird, almost just very fragile looking. And she comes up to you and she's cleaning her glasses as she does, and she's like, Claudia, such a pleasure to finally meet you.
My hunter character is just screaming in my head right now.
Have they taken good care of you? Is there anything you require?
Oh, no, everything is wonderful. Thank you. I was just picking the brain of the history of this place.
Oh, it doesn't have a very long history. We're not even finished building it. We broke ground a little over a year ago, so we've done some good time, I would think.
It's magnificent what you've been able to do in a year.
It's quite a massive project, but where there's a will, there is always
a way. True.
Would you mind if I sat with you for a moment? I know you wanted to speak with Annabelle, and Annabelle will be joining us shortly. She's taking care of another matter, but I did want to speak with you, and I'm glad we have this opportunity to do so. Do you mind if I sit here with you?
Please, how would you like for me to address you?
Oh, you can simply call me Kalome.
Oh, well, thank you, Klame. You're more than welcome to sit.
Well, thank you so much. And she sits down and she turns and there's a cup of tea there for her that you hadn't seen before. Are you certain we can't get you anything else? I like this personally, but we can get you anything you want.
I am perfectly fine. Thank you so
Oolong
much.
with some
for...
honey? No? Very well. She takes a sip, and very dainty with a little finger up. I have it on good authority that you're somewhat of a record keeper of sorts. You enjoy watching and taking notes on things. Am I correct?
I dabble in that, yes. It helps with the evening job, truly.
Let me ask you another question. Are you a romantic?
I like to think that I am at times.
I think we all are somewhere, even the most jaded of us. We have a little something inside of us somewhere that goes when we see a little puppy, perhaps, or when we see two people in love, or we all have that little desire to feel exactly what it means to be loved. And I have a little story to tell you, and it is a romantic story, so I think you'll probably enjoy it. And I promise that there's a point to it. I want to ask you to do something, and I'm telling you this story so that you'll have an idea or an understanding of where I'm coming from with this.
Who am I to turn down a story?
Do you need something to take notes with?
From her bag, she pulls out a journal. Always prepared.
Excellent. That's what they call you, don't they, the judges?
It is a title that they use for us, yes.
Perfect. I knew a judge once, Crimson Judge. He was not very nice. I hope we never have to meet him, but you seem a much kinder kind of judge. This story begins, for me, Claudia, in 1755, if you're keeping track here. But it began even longer ago, when a very, very, very ancient Malkavian kindred fled the machinations of his breed and came here to lie and sleep beneath the earth. I'm certain you've heard rumors to this effect. And this was a long, long time ago, back when the hills and the mountains were young.
Yes, it is something I've heard about.
My part of this story begins with loss. I loved the man, you see. His name was Rinaldo. He was taken from me after he made the mistake of attempting to sacrifice himself for the greater good. This story that began at that time with my loss is nearing the end of its telling. Like all good stories, Claudia, it's going to require that someone record it and that someone sits in judgment on those who took part. I would like you to be that person, the watcher and the judge, if you would be so inclined.
Kalome, if I am to be very honest, why me exactly? I don't think you know me, or at least I'm not aware how much you know of me.
I know of you, I don't know you, and to be perfectly honest, there's nothing particularly special about you, Claudia. But
Rude.
it takes a certain type of temperament to do certain jobs, and you have the correct temperament for this one. And I happen to need someone who will outlive most people, and you will, due to your particular state of being. I want someone who will be honest. In their appraisal, someone who does not have bias, but can record things as they happen and as they are. See, For an event to have meaning, it must be witnessed, and meaning is everything. The things we do, the things we build, are in and of themselves meaningless. They are easily destroyed by time. But the ideas of them are what carry meaning, because they can resonate for much longer, even a long time after anyone who was attached. I mean, look at the ancient stories we had from the Babylonian gods. We still remember them, even though nothing was ever written down. None of them are still alive, the people who believed in them, yet we still remember those ideas. An event must have a witness in order to have meaning. In the aftermath, someone has to judge its merits long after anyone who has been around remains. That is how the idea exists beyond its time.
I suppose I should reword my question a bit more. Why a stranger and not someone you've known? Typically, those who write history like to have it in their favor, so why want something unbiased now?
Because I want this to be unbiased. See, I'll show you everything. I'll give you the best vantage point, the best seat in the house. But you have to remain at a distance, an observer. The history, whoever comes after us will judge me, but I am beyond judgment. I do not care for it either way. I am not doing anything for the sake of what people may think of it or of me. I am doing things because I must. But it is important that it be recorded. I wasn't always like this. Members of your kind meddled with things they shouldn't have meddled with, and I paid the price, as did someone I cared a lot for. Now's the time for punishment. I am perfectly willing to let history, you in fact, decide whether I was right or wrong. I don't fear being judged. After what has become of me, judgment is the least affliction I can imagine. I am beyond it, beyond anyone in this world's ability to judge. But the events themselves and how people react to them is what needs to be recorded and judged.
It appears we have different opinions on some matters, but I appreciate your openness for this. But you do realize that nothing is truly unbiased unless all forms of the story is given, and you're giving me just one.
I said I would show you everything, and I will show you everything. Let me start by showing you this. And there's a mirror behind you, and she moves her hand on it, and it shimmers.
Where the fuck does this mirror come from?
And as you look into it, your phone rings. You should answer.
Still.
It's your husband's name.
She'll accept the call. Is it a call or a text?
It's a message.
She'll look at the message.
And as you do that, Maud,
Yes, Bleak.
time has come.
That camera's off. Okay. The time has come, has
The
it?
time has come.
Mm-hmm.
You are heading to the invitation.
I sure am.
You have a car ready. What other preparations do you wish to make, if any, before you?
Well, yeah, I would, like I kind of said, some kind of security that I need to be seen publicly
Has
tomorrow.
been arranged. Absolutely. You have a very a very well publicized by now opening ceremony of a new film that you're attending tomorrow, and you've been asked to deliver the opening address
Wonderful.
as both a woman in the film industry and a leader of business world here in Montreal.
Yes. And some kind of evidence of where I'm heading this evening.
No problem. We can have all that set up. Your assistant Sloan is very good at taking care of that business.
Yes. And that's exactly why I plucked her from where she came from.
How do you dress?
How do I dress? I imagine formally. The invitation gives formal, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So something floor length gown, nothing too body, more sleek. Something that could also something that has a slit up the leg, so if I gotta move fast, I can. Nothing inhibiting. A beautiful pair of heels that I am comfortable moving in. I don't know what to expect. I know that they could have the ground open from beneath my feet and swallow me whole based on what I saw with that limo. So at the very least, if I end up going somewhere, I would like to be gorgeous, comfortable, and prepared for what comes next.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
As the car pulls up and the driver comes around and opens the door for you, you go to sit down and you notice that a black lily has been placed on your seat.
Gorgeous.
It is a boutonniere.
Wonderful.
You get in the car.
I suppose I wear it. I put it on
You put it on.
when in Rome.
Mistake number one.
I accept the food from the Fae.
The car moves quietly through the wet streets. Tires whispering over the asphalt as Montreal slides past outside the tinted windows. It's a city washed pale and tired by rain. It's late October. The air is cool and crisp, the kind that clings to your skin and glass alike. It's got that humidity to it. Drizzle has turned to mist now. The world still shimmers with the strange uneasy glow as the street lights have this haze about them because of the mist. And then up ahead it appears. The building rises like something that shouldn't exist, a pyramid but wrong. It's wider at the front and back than at the sides, a warped geometry that seems to bend the air around it. Every surface is made of black glass, a darkness so deep it seems to drink in the light. The few reflections then manage to appear on its face, twist and crawl, headlights stretching into veins of cold silver that vanish before the eye can settle. As you draw closer, awe and dread coil together in your throat. The thing is enormous. Its peak lost in low clouds, its base sprawling wider that seems possible. You imagine its foundations burrowing deep beneath the city, pushing through old stones, through forgotten tunnels and buried bones. Feels like a turning point. Like the city has finally built something that tells the truth about itself. The car slows. There are several other cars very similar to yours, all with tinted windows and drivers lined up. The rain lights down the windows and crooked trails, and as you pull up next to the building, you can see the reflection of your face in it. It's like a small pale ghost staring back at you.
But she does look gorgeous.
Does look gorgeous.
I have one thing.
A man in a green suit jacket with visible tattoos on his hands and throat, hair slicked back, nice thick mustache. A little black lily on his lapel also approaches. Ah, Madame Sinclair. Pleasure to meet you. My name is Dubois. I've been assigned to take care of you this evening. If you would, and he extends a hand.
Of course. And I extend my hand.
You look around you, and you notice that the people who are here, the other guests that are stepping out of cars, are a veritable who's who of Montreal power scene. You see a number of people you recognize from the business world, from politics, thinkers, academics, anyone that's got like any kind of sway or power in the city and in the province, in fact, is here. Everyone looks dressed up to the nines. There's this somber and kind of, it's not a party. People are not like, there's no cameras, there's no press, there's nothing. It's just people arrive, they get out of the cars, they walk in. But all the major power players in the province, and even some from the federal side of things, are here. You see, in fact, Jeanne Urtubise, the woman who has, from City Hall, who put the kibosh on your plans for your business, is here. Ton of people. May I accompany you inside? Please, come. He'll guide you inside. When you get inside, the first room you go in is this very wide circular room, and you can see that there are a great number of doors. You count at least 20 doors in this room. And you can see everyone's got kind of a handler like you have, and people are being taken into different rooms. And he guides you right across them and to one at the other end of the room. And he says, this is your appointed, what shall we call it? Rest area, if you will. At any point in time, you may feel free to return here. All your business needs are, there's a phone, there's a computer, everything, of course, is secured. There's a television set. There is a place for you to lie down if you want. There is a mini bar that is well stocked. If at any point in time during the evening you feel the need to find a little bit of quietude, a little bit of solitude, a little bit of rest, you can always come here. You are the only one, and he hands you a passkey that has the key. This is your own little sanctuary for the rest of the night. And you notice on the table inside this room, there is a whole bunch of lilies that have been spread out. There is a card that says, with our compliments, with a black lily on it. And there are 3 big glass jars of blood.
How generous.
Yes, and if the libations are not to your liking, we can arrange anything.
Oh, no. Are they B positive? Light humor for the evening.
I think you will find it quite to your liking.
How kind.
Do you have any questions I might answer for you before we continue on with our itinerary?
Oh, yes. Pardon my perhaps ignorance for events such as these, but we don't usually get a whole room with a computer. Is there intention for this to be an extended stay?
Oh, no longer than you want it to be.
Wonderful.
You may leave anytime you want. You can simply walk out, get into your car and leave. You can signal me and I will usher you out if you wish. You can, perhaps if you meet interesting people and want to depart with them, you can do that also. However, if you do need a place to stay overnight, if things go in that direction, we can make sure you're very, very comfortable.
So kind. No, then in that case, shall we go on?
Yes.
I'm
sorry.
I do think that I have some kind of a bag with me, like a clutch kind of thing. Something with space, not quite so small like one of those things, but something with a little bit of space. And I'll pocket one of those bottles just for fun. Just because.
I would first suggest that we take the view from the balcony so that you may see who is here and who you may wish to speak to and who you may wish to avoid. If there is anyone that in particular that you would like to avoid, you can simply point them out to me and I will make sure to steer them clear of you.
Ah, yes. Storyteller. I am trying to remember the name of my specific contact that I messed up, and I don't know if he would be here, but do you remember his name?
Oh yeah,
And may I
the
point
one,
that
the guy
person
from the bathroom. Yeah, his name was Eric Denoncourt.
Well, no, not the bathroom. The person who I messed up to get my business in the first place. I don't know if I blew him out of Montreal.
Yeah, no, he wouldn't be around.
Okay, great. I just looked. That would probably, just in case he wormed his way up into something like this, I would have an eye out for him. But yeah, also I think that other guy too. I'd be like, you could just keep him away. Not for any reason in particular, just, out of my hair.
No problem. Shall we?
We shall.
I see as he walks you outside and up a couple of floors, I see, pardon my directness, but I see that you have received a black lily.
Yes. Did not everyone receive one of these? I probably would have noticed if not everyone received one of them. I say out of character.
No, one was wearing them.
I see. Then I would probably say that in kind of a humorous kind of way. Obviously,
It's perfectly fine. It's quite an honor to have received one, in fact, and it's perfectly fine to display it. I can assure you that the people who need to know who you are and that you are here were all part of the decision-making process in giving you this black lily, so they would have known anyways.
Surely. I mean, I figured it was just something to wear. Is it not necessary?
Well, you have heard of the Entreprise du Lys Noir, have you not?
Yes,
So,
I have.
Yes, you have. For
Yes.
sure, your character has. They're this sort of semi-secret organization of business people, kind of like the joke is always they're the Freemasons of the business world, basically. Like,
I was talking about it with Thomas
Yeah.
last session, so yes.
well, it seems that they have extended an invitation for you to join their ranks.
Interesting. Is that what this means?
That is usually what it means when someone receives one of those.
Hmm.
Congratulations. They say that new initiates are not invited. They simply arrive, as if they've always been meant to be there.
That's such a charming way of saying that.
No, I don't know if it's charming. It's what they say. I myself am but a humble servant.
Right.
As you walk through and start looking at the crowd, like I said, 100% power players. All of them. You do notice that there are a lot, and as you're watching the room, you see slowly and very subtly a few of them leave by one door in ways that, like, kind of, like I said, very subtle, that other people don't necessarily realize. Your greeter looks at his watch and says, I believe she will be here any moment. And you hear a ding of an elevator. And behind you, the elevator doors open. And you see, coming towards you, a woman dressed in blue, with striking red hair. She is very thin, very brittle looking, very fragile looking, almost like something made of crystal or glass. And he's like, I will remain at a quiet distance, but if you should need anything, you simply need to nod in my direction. And he backs away, and this woman approaches. Miss St. Clair, thank you so much for accepting our invitation.
Of course.
I am delighted to meet you. She extends her little bony, fragile hand.
I accept her hand, but I don't actually know who she is, correct?
No.
No. May I have your name?
Oh, absolutely. Pardon my manners. My name is Claudia de Trois. I am the director, I guess, if you will, here.
It is a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure's all mine, I assure you. I was wondering if we might have a little chat before we mix in with the others. There are a few things I should tell you about that you need to know, and some decisions you need to make before we meet the others of the group.
I understand. Please, is there somewhere more private that we'd like to speak?
No, this will do perfectly fine. I don't think anyone can overhear us here. Miss Sinclair, if I understand correctly, you're a pornographer.
I produce it, yes.
Perfect. That's exactly what I need. I've been told that you've been having issues with City Hall.
I have been, actually.
As you can see, we have a lot of friends. I'm sure we could find a way to help you out.
Yes, that would be wonderful. To what expense would this cost?
Well, it's not an expense. We, of course, make it a point to help out. Well, all the members help out other members. The question is going to be whether or not you wish to become a member of
Yes,
Les Entreprises du Lys Noir.
Yes, I was informed of my selection just upon arriving here.
Mr. Dubois was very excited about the prospect of being here to guide the only initiate of this decade.
Right. I suppose I would love to know the terms of what all of this means before truly making a decision, although I do love the accessory that I've been granted.
Well, it's yours to keep, and there are plenty more to come. I can fill you in on the details. There are a few things you need to know. I did want to speak to you about a project that I have. Tell me, are you familiar with the painting La Mort de Sardanapale, the Death of Sardanapalus from 1827 by Eugène Delacroix?
No. No, I don't believe I am. At least not by name.
It's his most famous painting involving death. It's a chaotic and exotic scene from the downfall of the Assyrian king. The painting is generally recognized as a work of romanticism. It's inspired by a play by Lord Byron and tale by the Greek historian Diodorus Siculus. It depicts Sardanapalus impassive on his funeral pyre as his attendants carry out his orders to kill his concubines, servants, and animals. It's a bit of a dramatic and gruesome fantasy. It uses rich colors, sensual, exotic imagery to portray the final vital moments of this Assyrian king.
So,
I want to create its equal, but in film. I want to create an extensive, expansive, filthy story, something no one will be able to look away from, especially those who don't want to see. I want to turn a mirror on this city. I want them to see how decadent they have become, but this is where I need a special touch. Someone who understands these things. I want to make them revel in it, not be turned off by it. This is not Salo, this that we are making. I would like this to be true art.
I must ask, just out of curiosity, why you come to me and my production company and not to the other, which is looking to stand and build in this area.
Well, primarily because as a group we have decided to extend an invitation to you to join our ranks, which would make you someone on the inside, someone I could trust. But also because I've been made aware of specifics regarding your lineage that I think would make you perfectly suited to this particular task, or at least to working with us. Your sire is
Intriguing.
Thomas Strathcona, is it not?
Of course.
Perfect.
May you explain why it's perfect?
Absolutely, I can do that. But before she does, somewhere beneath the city, Father Dubois, you sit with the saint. As I told you before, long ago I interceded with someone who found it in himself to create soldiers of God, a sword of God whose powers can destroy our kind very easily. I have been thinking, as I was saying, that it may be best if there is nothing here for my brethren to find when they arrive. They will be coming here. They'll be on these shores soon. I think it would be best to not have any victuals awaiting them. Scorched earth, I'm afraid. Break fire. Are you familiar with the term?
Yes, I am. How do you think that will make it better?
Once they they have nothing left to eat, they will have no choice but to turn on each other. That is the only way we will make sure.
So, your thought process is to wipe out all of our kind and then just let them eat each other?
I have found that the most extreme methods yield the most enduring results. But do not misunderstand me, Father Dubois. I have called you here for a reason. I am somewhat removed from this place. I see people's dreams. I am in them. I share it with them. I have some notion of what's been happening. You tell me that some are worth saving and others not. That is what I've called you here for, Father Dubois. I need your advice. I need your knowledge, your point of view, your counsel.
Counsel?
Yeah.
Is something I am uniquely qualified for. I can advise, but I fear that perhaps anything I may advise you on could possibly be counter to what you currently wish to do?
Only an insane man does not change his mind.
This is true.
Besides, my mind is not made up. I have dreamt of a few actions to take, but I find myself wholly unprepared to make a final decision without some input from someone who has seen the best and the worst of what the city has to offer.
Well, I can say without a doubt, if your brethren are coming, there are other options than scorched earth.
I am all ears.
There's redirection. And there is what I would undoubtedly call the nuclear option, which would take careful planning and preparation. But someone of your wisdom could very much take advantage of.
You're not trying to weaponize me, are you, Father?
No, not you. Tell me, what do you know of the Inquisition?
I was asleep during that time. Bunch of Spaniards in red robes running around burning witches, was it not?
Yes, well, they've taken on a new mantle in the more recent nights. Now they work through subsidiaries agencies. One particular thorn in our side within this city is a company known as Aegis.
Shield. Interesting.
Yes. They like to hunt our kind. They revel in it. They've almost perfected it, one might say. And they very much enjoy the bigger the challenge, the more notoriety for them. And if your kin are in fact coming, they have the means of which to mobilize what amounts to a small army and fight in the shadows and keep things from spilling onto the streets if necessary. We go to great lengths to avoid them, but if they could be pointed in a particular direction, they can eliminate this threat that you say is coming, and by eliminating that, perhaps satiate their curiosity with the city and the Holy Mountain and leave. Because they do not stay. They come, they conquer the threat that they know, and they leave. And they have not found their threat within this city yet. So, 2 birds, 1 stone.
And you have sway and control over these mortals.
I have channels in which to leave notes. After all, they do answer to the church at the end of the day.
So there's the sword of God, and I control those.
I'm presenting options.
That is the, how did you call it? Nuclear option?
Yes, that would be what this is, because it can have a tendency to get a little messy if we're not exceptionally careful.
You feel him probe around in your head a little bit. Oppenheimer. I see.
Split the atom.
Is that your only suggestion then?
No, the other suggestion would be that to... I am not trying to weaponize you when I say this, but you are a powerful force, of which you must realize that you are. We have a very hollow leadership within the city, and they feel that they are the strongest of us, but due to politics, no one challenges it. But if someone of your particular stature were to simply make their presence known, it would cause many of these upstarts to understand their place.
I understand that there are rumors about me or someone like me being here, and I would not want these rumors to become concrete in any way, shape, or form. Do I make myself clear?
Of course. You would act through agents, as you should.
We'll think on this. I will let you know what I decide soon. In the meantime, I would like you to take a look into the matter of this pestilence that is haunting my dreams. It emanates from somewhere beneath the pyramid.
Show me.
I will. But first, I want you to go and tell them. I want you to go and tell them that the moment of cleansing is near. Unless we find a better way. I want you to tell them that I will use the sword of God to cleanse this place myself, for my brethren stumble here in all their glory and monstrosity and unquenchable thirst. I want you to go and tell them. They may not believe you because you are insane, but that is the tragic comedy of it all.
There is something that should be known, and I am unaware of if they existed when you were more active. But there is one sword that is referenced within our kind this evening, and these modern nights. If I go barking of the sword of God, they may take it to mean that I am referring to the sword of Cain, and that is a whole other problem.
You have been kind and patient to sit here with an old man. And so I will give you something, Father. I will give you truth, though I'm not sure you are prepared to handle it. I would say I'm afraid it would break your mind, but we're already well past that.
I've got 2 to spare. What truth?
Cain. Shall never return.
Why?
He is no more.
How can this be so? If he is no more, then we would all vanquish, we would perish. He is our progenitor. He is the creator of us all, and how is that what?
She is returning. And their first action, her first act of vengeance,
You speak of the Dark Mother.
our mother. Cain is no more. The others are awake because she has returned. Because she needs to feed. But they have plans of their own.
And you wish to aid the Dark Mother? Or you wish to destroy her?
I wish to sleep. But apparently, that is not to be my lot. Do you hear them still, Father? The choir and the cackle? Feathered truth on one side, sulphurous jest on the other, always whispering, always disagreeing.
Incessantly.
For ages I thought them my counselors, perched like ornaments upon my shriveled conscience. The angel would murmur of light, remember, once you loved the dawn. And the demon would grin, red teeth in the dark, remember, you bit it. I listened, century after century, millennia after millennia, until their voices frayed into echoes, and I couldn't tell which one was right or which one was mine. But then, somewhere between the last church bell and the first scream of the night, I learned a cruel little secret. There are no shoulders but our own. No wings, no horns. Only the hollow skull where all the voices live. The angel is a memory, the demon a hunger, both speaking through the same cracked mouth. And so I laughed softly like a coffin creaking, because the war in heaven was never fought above. It was always here, behind the teeth, and the tongue that prays and curses with the same breath. The last few lines, Father, were delivered in your own voice, as you stand alone in a darkened tunnel, speaking out loud to yourself.
Rejoice, for she has risen.
Claudia.
Yes.
You click open the message. See, it's a video. You see your husband sitting in a white room. No doors, no windows. Head down. He looks up straight into the camera, though he doesn't seem to see it because his eyes move away right away and he looks around. He seems very afraid. Another important aspect, Claudia, is for the record keeper to be docile. Says Kalome. It's difficult to see one's husband trapped, is it not? It's difficult to see the one you love suffer, be unable to do anything for them. You have one advantage over me. There was nothing I could do. The damage was already done. He had already been transformed to one of yours, and I could not have him back and bring him back into the sunshine, but you can have yours back. You can take him again in your arms, smell his hair, and kiss his lips. If you want. And if you behave. I do not want you to tell a single lie about what you've seen. I want you to tell the truth, and I will show you all of it. And we will let those who come after us decide. But it is very important for the watcher, for the judge, to be outside. And so we will take you off the board now, Claudia. We will put you in an ivory tower with a vantage point unrivaled, so that you may see everything and know everything and record everything. And when you are done and you have done your part, and what has to happen to this place has happened. Most of us are gone back to dust. You will be allowed to leave, and you will be allowed to take your husband with you. Remember, this is a kindness I am doing you.
And it is a kindness that I do not act as the other title they call my kindred, the assassins.
I do not want you to torture yourself with what you might have done or could have done, because there is nothing you can do. Claudia, I will reach back in time and make sure your mother was never born. Her mother was never born. Her mother was never born if I have to, and unmake you before you were even a thought. But I don't want to do that.
So that's why you say that you can't be judged. I hope you, whenever you do pass, even if it's not by my hand, that you keep with those fucking delusions, because everyone is fucking judged. You just don't simply know who's going to be judging you yet, if it's not going to be me.
You are familiar with the concept of consequences, Claudia?
Of course.
Life truly begins when one becomes entirely free of consequences. My life has begun, finally, after so many years. Come. There are things you have to see tonight. There is a gathering of useful idiots here tonight. There are things you must see and record. And your job begins. It's the most holy task. Those books you read and research in dusty libraries, yours will be part of them.
Before she moves, she is going to bite down on her tongue. And it's more out of pettiness. If anything else, there's no real, want of trying to do damage to her, obviously. But she wants to bite down on her tongue. And she's going to spit corrosive vitae onto her teacup and just watch it erode.
She
And
watches.
I'll do that Ralph check if you want.
No, it's perfectly fine. She watches the teacup start to disintegrate and fall apart with a fascination. And as the teacup erodes and the tea is about to fall in her lap, it just disappears and ceases to exist. And she looks at the remnants of the cup in her hand and goes, I knew you were the right person for this. This was beautiful, Claudia.
Gosh, please. I've met many friends on this journey to you. You're not a friend, so I'm not going to be truly nice. So give me your fucking truth so I can fucking leave and not be in your annoying presence anymore.
Very well. Come along now. And she gets up, drops the handle and the little bit of the teacup that's left, and it falls to the ground and it shatters soundlessly. The room around you starts to shift as she starts walking up the stairs, becomes something completely different. A place made of white stone with dark, disturbing art on the walls, yellow curtains hanging down. She walks up the stairs and she stops halfway and she looks back and goes, Come along, Watcher.
Don't talk to me.
You never need to speak to me again, if you wish. And you walk up the stairs And something else is going to happen here in a minute, but before we get to that, Maud,
Yes.
the humans who make up, Kalome says, the majority of our group, les Entreprises du Lys Noir, are, well, when you want to corral a bunch of them and get them to move in a certain direction, you need a sheepdog of sorts. These ones are moved by the works of a French philosopher named Georges Bataille. They have to give meaning, because meaning is everything. To give meaning to their little association, they have formed these rituals and these beliefs that are fueled by the philosophy of this Bataille. And they cloak their decision-making and their process and these trappings of ritual. And so, to one such as yourself, of course, they may seem somewhat unnecessary or trite, but it is important to go through them in order to gain the trust of the rest of them. And I want you to understand that they have been guiding the fate of this province since the early 18th century.
Mm-hmm.
That they have decided to invite you is because they feel that you, well, can be brought up to their level, can be a mover and shaker the way that they are someone who gets to decide what will happen of this place in the future.
I see.
But you must want to join. You must be willing to join. There are certain requirements. I did want to speak for a moment, if I could, of the one you call your sire, Thomas.
Yes.
He does love you, you know, beyond what he might admit and beyond the bonds of your blood. You're the perfect woman to him, but perfection to him includes willingness to accept subjugation from none but him. He will give you the world, but never set you free. You stand by him, he will crown you prince of this city. But you must choose to accept subjugation and to have everything except freedom, or to choose freedom and have nothing else.
These are interesting words that you say to me. Question: does choosing this membership include choosing him?
This membership is a third option for you,
Oh, is it?
if you should choose to take it.
So then, I question this idea of choosing him, having everything he has to offer and exist under his foot, choosing nothing and having nothing. Why were only those two presented, if this is a third option?
Well, I wanted you to know what you would be going back to if you left here empty-handed today.
Empty-handed. Is that your concerns with my lineage?
No.
Ah,
We'll speak to
then
that.
please enlighten me.
We'll speak to that in a moment. I sense and appreciate in you a certain disregard for what I've laid out in front of you as being your options.
I just want to know everything that I have available to me before I make any decisions. I'm very interested in your interest in my lineage. I'm curious as to what makes me so special for the choice of a membership potentially, and just the further details. I feel like no decision should be made ill-informed. Would you agree?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You're perfectly right. And I would expect nothing less from you. I
Wouldn't have
think
chosen me otherwise.
you should speak to Ashmore. I think that would be best. We'll get you to speak to Ashmore. And I think everything will be made much clearer once you have done that.
Are you saying that I need to speak to them first before I speak to you about this lineage thing that you keep putting in front of my face? I'm just curious.
Oh, the lineage thing. Ava, as Claudia is following Kalome, you arrive on the second floor up on a balcony, and you can look down and you see a gathering of people in what appears to be a kind of ballroom setting. There are people that even you know, who are not necessarily super plugged into the political and business side of the city recognize, and you can easily tell that this is a convention of the movers and shakers of the city. You scan the crowd, and Kalome says most of them are fodder. Few of them are interesting and, well, have a role to play in what's to come. We are waiting to see what decision is made in another discussion before I can bring you in to see the details. And when she says that, you notice across the way, a floor below you, a kindred, another one. One that you don't necessarily recognize. You've never seen her before, but it's the only other kindred you see here. You recognize with her the man in the green suit that was talking to you at the bar the other night. Duca. You remember him from the fourth wall. He's standing away a little bit with his hands behind his back. Discreet distance. The kindred you are looking at appears to be talking to herself. This one is one of yours. Her name is Maud Sinclair. She is a Ventru, I believe. She is being made an offer currently. Her decision will decide what happens next. You and I will just wait here for a moment, shall we? And see what that decision is.
Just keep farther away from me.
Maud, as you mentioned these last few things, wanting to know about the lineage thing, I've not worked with many of your kind, says Kalome. The only one I've ever really been close to is Annabelle. We've been working together since the 1970s.
Mm-hmm.
She sold this city out to me.
Mm-hmm.
I have found her very trustworthy and very resourceful, and through the decades we've accomplished much together. I don't think most of this would have been possible without her help. I cherish her greatly, and I don't say that of a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested in you, Maud, because since you and Annabelle come from the same sire, I thought you might be of the same stock.
Oh, interesting. For you to say that.
Did you not know?
Is she now?
Yes, she indicated that you were her replacement in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
But she said that she had also been the replacement of somebody else at some point. But when she had stood up to Thomas and found her way to the Sabbat and earned her own power there, that he became uninterested in her and found you. The newest little ingenue.
Is that why she's been so rude?
Possibly. You would have to ask her yourself. She wasn't very keen on meeting you.
Wasn't very keen on her attitude since we've met, so seems the feeling is mutual.
Sibling rivalry.
Apparently. At least give me the notice, and I can have some fun with it.
I can arrange a meeting if you want, but...
No. No. That's so great that she has been of favor to you, but she would have to earn my respect if she wanted it. I don't need meetings for that.
Very well. Does that satisfy your curiosity about my curiosity?
Well, do you have more to say on that, or is it simply that we come from the same sire? And then, why is Thomas not of interest to you individually?
Because he's a pig.
Okay. Is that really the thing holding you back from using him? I mean, you know.
Let's just say that I have had wind of things about to happen, and I think that in the very near future it will pay off to not be a man.
Okay.
But be that as it may, would you like to hear about what it takes to become an initiate of the Black Lily, or do you think that you would rather walk out those doors?
I would say that I'm curious.
Good. And you see her turn, and she looks up, and you see where she looks up another kindred, a younger one, staring down at you from a balcony a little bit higher up. She nods in that direction. Let me tell you about how we exult in the void. Father Dubois, you are in a tunnel you don't recognize. There's two ways to go, backwards or forward. Which one would you like to go?
Forward.
You move forward. You're walking for a long time. Not quite certain where you are. Tunnels branch in and out. Turn left and right. You always feel fairly certain which direction you have to go, but you don't know which direction you're going. You're quite turned around. You notice that the other two voices have not been speaking to you. They've been very quiet.
One is the loneliest number.
At some point, you stop at a crossroads, kind of wonder which way to go. You turn around, choose a direction, start walking. Something catches your foot. You stumble, trip, fall flat on your face. In the dirt.
Well, shit.
You pick yourself up. You realize that this isn't a tunnel, it's a dead end.
Ironic.
And right ahead of you, on a wall of concrete, is a black triangle, inverted, with a bloody hand, old dried blood, smeared on it. The words pyramid and les entreprises du lait stenciled underneath it. And that, my friends, is where we are going to end tonight's session of Elegy. You okay, Eva?
No. Never.
Needless to say, Father, the feeling of impending doom and lethality that you felt in your vision earlier tonight washes back over you.
I have no doubt of that whatsoever. Well, I'm just happy that at this point, 100%, without a fucking doubt, the photo I took at the very beginning of this goddamn chronicle is finally paying the fuck off.
Good night.